Could see Alistair was flashing old mate Valiance onto the line, looking for a pick. In the meanwhile, AVANT reroutes straight back towards the B site. Pressure now on Ricky. He's going to drop the Molotov and try to buy time for the rotations to come in. Apoc makes it across, but he's the one with the bomb. Not putting it down just yet. Just biding his time. Oh, that's disgusting from Hazel. You can't just drive by him through the smoke like that. Now the bomb being established. And AVANT setting up for a 5-on-3 post-plant, Mac.
All right, trying to send their way in. Jyra leading the charge as Sterling should be taking point here for AVANT. And he's going to keep his head for a moment. Jyra on the trade. Has up. Close here, over in front of Dark, but Ali trace it back through. Now 1v3, he needs to try to clutch it, trying to tap heads, but it's the two-man peak, and that's too much. AVANT take the T-pistol, and they're going to be laughing with that one.
Yeah, not a bad start there for AVANT at all, and maybe getting a bit of an insight as to why they've opted to choose the T side on Inferno. This one is going to also be a pretty important round for AVANT. Order are forcing in, which is not too out of the ordinary when it comes to Inferno. Definitely a lot you can get done with pistols, a bit of armor, some smokes. They've got 5 smokes even here, Order. MP9, the option for Jyra instead of a Deagle, but still a threatening round.
Yeah, so we'll see how greedy Order's going to be with these smokes. They really want to just try to, like you said, stall. Chuck them down on the choke points. You can see early on in this round they haven't used any of them. It was an attempted setup towards Carpet, but Jyra, towards the end of Carpet, has unfortunately just been spammed in the earlier parts of that round. Lost a lot of HP. Initial pick goes the way of AVANT. First smoke's been dropped down here.
Ooh. Dangerous position for Val to be standing in, but it looks like he could just have the timing. Smoke goes down and he's spammed down to 20, but will survive to tell the tale. 1 minute remains on the clock as we do see one of these smokes being rotated in. So Ustilo could potentially drop another. But AVANT, they're slowly on this rotation back towards the A site. Ali just solo. Wants to go for a jiggle at mid and gets all the information in the world. Drops that smoke, which doesn't stop AVANT from coming forward. Looks like staying silent. They're just going to send it through second. Oh, the angles. They're just not there. Ali just can barely spot them. Blitz up mid, and Ali's still got full apps control. Blitz hasn't spotted it. That should be a freebie. Ali, pulls it on the third and doesn't know that the boys have come in from Freezer.
Yeah, luckily he was able to claw that one back because he would have not been feeling too happy with himself had that not occurred. Even still, it's probably not enough for Order to win this round. They have the numbers deficit. Jyra and Valiance very low on HP, so Order wisely are just going to back away and save the armor, save the Deagles, the MP9, give themselves a bit of a better chance next round. This is pretty standard fare when it comes to a force buy. If it doesn't work out, you kind of keep that into the next round. You still get your money. You still make sure you have a pretty decent chance of making something happen. But AVANT won't be disappointed either.
Well, for all of those who aren't familiar, on Inferno, when you're running a bit of a default, you can do a bit of a spam from the bridge straight into carpets, try to catch people that are pushing through down there. Actually is just on this line here. You'll start to see Apoc is going to sit on the bridge, and you can see Jyra pushing up in the apartments here. And Apoc's just going to be spamming through this wall right here. And he gets a lot of health off Jyra as he pushes down the carpets. You can see starting to fire down that line and stops that carpets push, which when you're on the pistols, you've got an SMG like Order did have in that last round. Just sort of stops them from going for that setup towards the boiler. You had Ustilo and Alistair close in that boiler as well. They didn't want to go for that setup anymore after he loses 70 of his HP from the spam through the wall. There's another spam.
Oh, all right.
Straight, same line from Blitz, actually. Spams through the end of carpets once again. Gets him a free pick.
Wait.
Or was it on a different line?
No, I think it was on a different line. It was through the wall, through that little boiler line in the door halfway through
no, it was the close line. Yeah, never mind. It wasn't on that same line. Anyway.
You can show that one too, though. Good way to clear the corner.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't actually do what you're thinking of.
No, he didn't?
He actually wide swung and shot Ustilo through the left side.
Oh, well, that works too.
That's always a good option when you're watching, particularly what we're going to be watching next, a wide swing.
Oh, wide swings? It's correct.
Yeah, Jordan, you were telling me you're a swinger as well, right?
Yeah. You know, the swings down at the park.
Yeah.
I love having a good time on those.
Swinging wide.
Yep. Swinging high. Swinging low,
Yep.
swinging backwards and forwards, swinging everywhere.
There's the biggest low-hanging fruit joke happening, like right in front of me right now, but
Where?
I'm not going to say anything.
He's talking about swinging low, you know?
Something about mums.
Do they swing to and fro?
Anyway.
Max confused. But what's
Billy said something about mums, and I'm just like, what?
got a bit of a mum fetish going on right now, don't you, Mac?
He said it! I got confused.
That's disgusting.
You are the one that keeps bringing up mums. That's all I'm going to say.
That's disgusting.
So.
Can't believe you would say that.
Someone better get on the clanger with your girlfriend and let her know.
On the clanger.
The clanger.
On the blower.
All right. First gun round here for Order.
And it is going to be a bit of banana control.
Yeah.
2 mollies. Smoke in the middle to keep, I think, old
There's
Hazard
4
alive.
players
APOC
there
rather.
for Order. Jesus.
Yeah, they just want to make sure they've got the B-bomb site on lockdown.
Mate, they've checked the tendencies of Avant and know that they love a bit of banana control. And again, they've gone through this smoke. They're looking to go toe-to-toe.
Oh.
But because they've given those nades so early, there's still 2 HEs to play with here. And that should be a potential freebie. APOC down to 43. How's the second nade go? What's happened? Bowling. Beautiful.
Yeah, great work from Order. Avant are going to struggle a little bit more in this round, particularly if Ricky's hitting shots like that. He's helped by Valiance to defend Banana. I can't think of anything I'd rather do than defend Banana. Blitz and Hugh are the last remainders.
Yeah, down to these last 2 players.
See if they can get in towards the A site. Smoke in front of Library to wrap into CT, which will potentially isolate the fight here with Ali, but Ali happy just to hold his line, hold his ground. 40 seconds, flashed off. That's some good information for Avant to play with. But still, look at this crossfire. Look at this setup just on the A site. 2 men just fully focused on Dig, on apps. It's going to be a dirty crossfire all the way in. Hugh, he's managed to cross his way to default, but the rifle's a little bit too strong. And that's a perfect round coming out from Order.
Yeah, interesting. They had 4 players towards Banana, and I could see like the reasoning for it. They throw the smoke deep, and they got the 2 mollies, one here, one here. APOC's trying to dance in the middle of them, has to use that smoke. But you can actually see you've still got 2 players over here towards Banana with mollies. And towards the later parts of that round, they actually tried to re-execute. But with the mollies flying in from Avant in response, it kind of doesn't work very well. Like, they're not able to get the mollies in the positions that they wanted to. So, interesting approach for Order. Ideally, they wanted to throw those double mollies to Olof and a little bit closer, and then do the same again in the late round and catch Avant off guard.
A little bit of an aggressive play from Alistair at the start of this round. He just sort of ran down mid into sort of second mid even. Had a bit of a peek. Didn't see too much. And now Ustillo's been sent over toward the B bomb site. So I wonder if that lack of information was information for Order.
This is not something...
Well, Hazard's hand got spotted as he spun around at the top of Banana there.
Oh, the fight towards jungle.
Oh! Blitz still ready for that. Sharp as nails.
Now he's throwing a lot of utility. There's 3 players on this B bomb site. Jyra has got the world on his shoulders here, trying to hold in with a Galil.
It's not going to be a fun one for Jyra, is it? How many can he grab? Well, nearly.
99 in 4.
Got APOC. But Sterling saves APOC's life.
Or 99 in 5, maybe. That was a very weird round of Inferno. It was like a minute 10 on the clock, and both teams still had like full util pretty much.
Well, Blitz got the pick. I think Avant counted that 3 smokes were used over towards the B site, so they gambled that there was probably only one on A. Sent it back, found the A site, and Blitz had full control of CT, denying any rotations, and getting a world of information. And that's the round. 4 on the board for Avant. Order not touching it with a 10-foot pole. All 3 saving over towards the B site.
It's been a pretty well put together T side so far from Avant. Money's not looking too bad though for Order. They save these guns through. They'll get a great buy next round. They'll continue to fight for early control of the half. Poor APOC, 1 HP. Doesn't manage to survive the round. But that's fine. Avant also looking quite healthy, economically speaking. See what Avant opts to go for this time. They'll start to recognize Order's money is depleting. This can be an important round for AVANT. Probably not enough to break the bank, though. Again, 3 to start with. Toward the B bomb site for Order. Not quite 4 this time.
Yeah. Just again, throwing that utility down. Banana. Jump spot. Looking for some cheeky info. Free smoke on bottom Nana. And a molly into Olaf too. Oh, actually, there was a smoke there already. So, unfortunately, Molotov gets wasted a little, but there's some info here for Order, and they're going to leave Valiance in position there. Him and Jyra don't have any util, only the one flash. No smokes on Wallies at a minute 10 on the clock, so this is not ideal. They can't really stop AVANT from storming into this site. I like the aggressive setup. Baiting for Jyra here, he might multi.
He hasn't been checked so far, and it does not look like Hazard is going to. He's just playing anti-flash on the wall. Waiting patiently. So is Jyra. He sees the gun. He knows that Hazard's there. And Valiance is going to take the first contact. Jyra should get 2 for 3. Won't be able to wrap that corner around and keep control of that spray, but Valiance does well against APOC, who's just sort of sliding out and does take 1 tick from that molly, which unfortunately will be the end of him. And still won't matter too much for Order, you would think, but let's just hold the horses. Sterling in a 1v3. He's won a couple of 1v2s on Train. This one a more difficult prospect, but with Order all coming from the same angle, from CT spawn, he might just make this happen. There's the first shot. It connects onto Alistair. Now his position given away, but Sterling very much in a chance to win this round until he's wrapped upon by Ustillo. And so Order will get away with it.
All right, so solid round. 2 AWPs saved across for Order, and Ustillo just rushing Sterling. But there was a world where I saw that one happening. It was very close to the collateral on both the CTs, pushing in from CT onto B. And it was a bit of a rough one, but look, here it is. 4 on the board for AVANT as Order just managed to find themselves a second.
Indeed. About to head into the 7th round, but going to be told that that one is a dead round, so we will have a little bit of a break here. Not a break per se, but a little bit of a pause time. We'll see what's happening. I guess so far, the main question for me is how are we feeling about how this is sort of panning out? Because it looks to me like AVANT has got the benefit of it, but if you look at gun rounds, it's actually 2-1 favoring Order, so is there a whole lot that we can read into out of these first 6 rounds, or not a lot yet?
It seems like Order starting to get rolling. I like the approach in that last round, actually. They invested a lot of utility. Actually, a lot of these rounds, they're investing a lot of utility down Banana, trying to take control. But there's this weird utility exchange that's not really going favorably for them. And I think in that round, you know, I was thinking to myself, I'm looking at Jyra, I'm looking at Valiance with no utility on that B site, and it's a minute 10 on the clock. I'm thinking they're done for. But that's the kind of cheeky play. You need to get away with a little bit of aggression when you actually don't have the utility to fall back on to be able to hold down some of those pushes.
Yeah, I'm not sure that that is going to be something that AVANT is going to fall for twice, though. You don't not check sandbags after that.
Yeah, look, sometimes you think you've checked sandbags, sometimes you don't actually clear sandbags, but at this level of play, you assume they're going to clear it every time. But sometimes maybe there's a lot of util thrown from the site, maybe they think they've heard people move back to site. You know, there's many factors which we may be missing here on the desk as well. So, look, it's all comes down to a game plan, and if they're executing the game plan correctly, then they should be getting more of these rounds across the line. And AVANT, so far, so good. They're just really reading exactly what Order's doing and playing to their strengths.
Well, I guess we're going to have to wait and see how this does end up on sort of moving along. I mean, at the moment, I still feel like it's kind of anyone's game. It's fair to say, obviously, 6 rounds in, there's only so much that you can really read into out of that one. We haven't seen any of the individuals necessarily firing up all that much just yet, and that's probably going to be what we need later on in the piece once we get to the late stages of this map into the second half, particularly if it's going to be close, which you know, you do sort of get the sense that maybe this is going to be quite close. First couple of maps were pretty close. Inferno tends to be one of those where we do see overtimes a fair bit. So what do you reckon, Pilski?
OT. It's too early to call yet, but I think AVANT's got off to the start that they wanted, starting on that T side. But it does seem like Order's very much sort of plugging away, starting to get some rounds together. I think this next round or 2 or 3 is really going to start to show us where these two teams sit at. You know, we talk about the economy all the time, but it's really the way that Order gets through the rounds that makes a difference. These last couple of CT rounds, I think, have been a little bit more on the clean side, which allows them to build up that CT economy. That's what you want to actually be seeing. That last round, I think they survived with the double AWP as well. So these last 2 rounds in a row, they've won with the single AWP, I think, or if they even had an AWP, mostly the rifling power and the utility, a more sort of standard approach. Now, towards the end of that round, they pick up the double AWP. That might actually be a little bit of a different look. And AVANT, I mean, if you go back to that round, actually, where they didn't clear sandbags, they had tons of utility, tons of Molotovs, tons of flashes. They're not using, and the reason why that's important to mention is they're not using a whole lot of utility to take banana to flash off these angles. So now that they're going up against the double AWP, you're not throwing that extra flash, you're not throwing that extra molly to disincentivize the AWP or the secondary AWP from peeking into you and finding a pick. You might actually end up paying for it.
And that's dangerous because AWPs are dangerous in the hands of Order. They've got 2 very good AWPers on the team, and they're going to have one probably on either side. You know, who knows? They could be stacking 2 on B at the start of the round for whatever reason. Who knows? But they also rotate sometimes. If Ali has the spawn to go and peek banana, he's certainly going to be running over to banana rather than mid.
Yeah, definitely. Ricky, obviously, traditionally over toward the B-bomb site, though, with that AWP. But we'll obviously keep an eye on that, whether or not Order economically are going to be able to keep the double AWP going as well. Obviously, that's going to be a factor on the CT side as well. I don't know about you fellas, but talking about economy and money and all that sort of stuff, it sort of takes me back to my high school years. I did accounting. I don't know, did you guys ever do any sort of finance subjects or anything like that? Because I almost feel like sometimes with Counter-Strike, you need that to get going.
In school?
Yeah.
Not in school, but in uni, yeah.
You did uni? What did you do?
I did finance.
Nice.
Yeah, you have to. I do a business degree, so you have to do like a basic level of something. I failed it. Yeah, my first year I failed it, and I had to take it again.
I would have thought that being
it takes a man to, you know, allow everyone to know that.
I would have thought being a Counter-Strike in-game leader would have, you know, really prepared you for that finance subject.
Nothing beats like equations and like compounding interest and stuff like that, where you're trying to work out all this stuff. Like that just broke me. It's terrible at maths. And yeah, Counter-Strike economy, like even playing RTS and stuff like that, it makes you really good at basic maths. But when it comes to like equations and stuff like that, as soon as you see a symbol that you don't understand, you're just like,
yeah. Anytime it had a letter in it instead of a number, I was like, yeah, I don't know about that one.
Nah, don't put those 2 together. No, we don't like that.
That might not work too much. What about you, Mac?
I was really good at maths.
You were really good at maths?
You look like you were good at maths.
You look like a math teacher, actually.
Yeah.
I got really annoyed at my teachers because I'd say, hey, because I was doing I did extension maths initially, and I was like, what is a situation in my life I'm going to use this algorithm? And they would always just say shopping, and I was like, no, give me, you're supposed to be a role model. Please give me a real life situation where I'm supposed to use this. Like, what job would I go in where this would be relevant? And they would always just say shopping. So I went down to general maths because I was like, screw maths. These teachers suck.
Well, if you are a student currently, you know, a young guy, maybe 16, 17, or gal, watching this stream, make sure you don't listen to Mac. Stay in school and do your best, because otherwise you'll end up like Mac.
I was pretty set on being an electrician.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to do my senior years or go to uni. I was just like, man, I've done a pre-apprenticeship as an electrician. This is going to be sick. And then just didn't.
And then you ended up being an esports guy.
Well, there was actually just no apprenticeships available, because it's a big thing to be a tradie down south. So I was like, hey, look, I'm going to be a tradie.
So if you ever had the opportunity, would you do it again? Would you be an electrician? I know it's a bit late,
I'd still be an electrician. I think it's super interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where all these things are coming from for Mac's life. Every time I talk to Mac about his life, he's like a pro scooter guy, like a gym junkie, electrician.
Well, you know, we're going to rail or re-rail rather than derail. So away from the podcast and back into the game as Order. I'm going to be buying up around the double AWP setup. AVANT economy looking okay for this round, but if they lose this, well, they're cooked.
Cooked just like the banana is right now, because there's a bit of util being thrown in there, one of which is an incendiary.
Sterling goes straight on the line, and unfortunately almost dies straight away. Ricky drags him through the wall, drops that HE grenade. Sterling down to 10 HP in a more passive position. AVANT now, it's the Molotov towards top of Banana, the smoke on the half wall, and the Molotov from Order, the retake utility. But AVANT, you can see, they boost up a couple of players. In the meanwhile, Blitz dies coming out mid there. So from this 4-on-5 situation, AVANT wants to come into the B site, boost up onto New Box. Bit of an off angle for Valiants potentially.
Well, Ricky, secondary AWP for Order is going to be waiting and ready for AVANT to walk their way in. There is only 3 players remaining, so this should be a relatively routine hold, particularly when Ricky's hitting shots, and so that's more than fine. Valiance drops, but look, 1 gun lost on CT side for Order. You're not unhappy with that. By the way, Mac, when you were talking about math earlier on, methods and general, and what's the top? Is there 2 in New South Wales or 3?
Well, there's extension 2, which is like for the people that probably just going to be doing engineering their whole life.
All right.
There's extension 1, which is slightly brought back. There's advanced, and then there's general. So general's just like bottom tier, but I just cruised through that because I was just like, well, you know, the teachers, they're all joking with me. They're not taking me seriously. So look, Australian schooling system really just killing it for me.
All right, folks, that's another dead round, just in case you didn't realise what was going on there. So again, apologies, not sure exactly what's happening at the moment, but seems someone in the service having some problems. And we're here to talk about maths again. So I did my schooling in Queensland. So things are a bit different. There's just maths A, B, and C. Makes it pretty easy to remember. Maths C was actually the smart maths. That was the really big nerd maths. And then maths B. I used to do maths B, but I failed maths B in term 2 of year 12 until I went back to maths A. And then I just started getting A's in maths A because it was like, find the area of the triangle. And you're like, okay, sounds good.
That's like when you played like a game like at an amateur level or like a semi-professional level, and then you go and play a pub. You just start smashing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're a god.
It's like you're a noob in like pro gameplay. You know, you're getting wrecked by everyone, and then you go and smurf on kids in pubs.
I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit zoned out from what you were saying, and then you said pub, and I came straight back.
Mac, you're doing dry October.
I'm doing dry
2021.
2020.
Doing 2021 as well.
Deep into 2021.
This grenade that's going to tag almost everyone. In fact, everyone on AVANT, if only a little bit. Alistair with the AWP won't be quite benefited as much from it, but he's going to continue to fall and does eventually drop as well. He got 2 frags before going down, so he's done his job.
Where do you go in this 3-on-3? Seems like it's back towards A. He still has got a smoke to play in. Apod's wrapping on him though. He has been spotted and he does go down. Very nicely done there for AVANT. Only trading 1 for 1. Now they need to pick up the bomb and get themselves into a favourable post plant. But you can see they're very timid. They're not aware of how close Order are on these rotates. And that's a leg spotted by Ricky. Now into the 1-on-2 for Sterling. He's been clutching these all day.
Yeah, very good for AVANT so far today. But this is a tough one in particular. He's got Valiant's wrapping from Carpets, who he's not aware of just yet, but if he drops into pits, he would have given away his position. Luckily, checks Dig before he does that, and so Order will win the round. 4 apiece. And they're starting to really get the ball rolling now on the CT side.
Undoubtedly. Isn't that 4 in a row?
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Mac? 4 in a row? Good?
Yeah, 4's all right. You know, Connect 4, great game. So.
Well, if we were playing that, AVANT would have already won because they got 4 first.
At the bar that I used to work at, they had a giant Connect 4 that you could put on your table.
Oh.
But did they have palmies?
No. They used to spill their beer on it and I had to wipe each of the individual discs for the kids that would come the next day.
Nice. What were the kids drinking beer? That's the other question, but we'll hold
definitely.
that thought because AVANT are really doing some work here at mid. Hugh in particular finds his hands on an AK, but Ali, beautifully placed nade, will shut him down, and that's going to be 5 on the board for Order. Now, anyway, back to... what are you doing? Hey?
All I'm saying is if someone wanted to order a palmy or a parma or a parmo, whatever you want to call it, for me right now, I would definitely appreciate that.
Oh, you would eat it?
I would eat it.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It is definitely palmy, by the way, and I think most of the chat seems to agree. Although,
Look, I wouldn't be posting the wrong pronunciation in the chat, because this is a bannable offense. 4 players towards Banana again for Order. So they've bombarded the utility back down there, and now you've got Valiance and Ricky, who have full utility still left over to be able to once again retake Banana. They're going to double molly. There's the molly into Olaf as well as Close. They drop the HE nade, and that's the second time that that Olaf molly has actually hit the smoke, I believe. Or maybe it was an HE nade that I saw, because now there is another molly and the flash in. Valiance wins the duel. That's worked out beautifully for Order.
It's a really nice
4
adjustment.
sets of utility to be able to get that one pick. Now into the 5-on-4, they leave Ricky solo at B.
Yeah, he'll be quite happy to take that role with the AWP in hand. Generally one of the better places to play solo with an AWP. Straight through the smoke will be AVANT, and they have not checked the cutout. That is a punish from Jyra. And it's not the first time that Jyra has punished AVANT for not checking an angle. This one, a bit more excusable. They're down 4-on-5. They're going through a smoke, but even still, it's coming back to bite AVANT in the butt a little bit.
That's it. Jyra just hits him with a quick triple. And Blitz just has to wait out the smoke. So many bullets coming his direction. They're painting a picture around him. Smoke was refreshed as well, so Blitz is going to be here for a while, and he doesn't really want to survive after the timer, so walks through, accepts his death. As Order find themselves a 2-round lead now. And it all slows down. So AVANT, we do see Hugh invest down to 1350 now that they've got the max round loss bonus worked up. Still should be able to have a relatively decent buy into the next, with the rest of the boys doing similar things.
Hero AK. Let's see if it works out. Order on a 6-in-a-row streak with a really strong economy to boot.
Yeah.
Seems like AVANT's really struggling to find an answer here.
Definitely does. Hugh has himself an AK, and all of AVANT are grouped up toward Banana, with the exception of Blitz. Now, if Ricky were to have thrown that grenade, it would have been not a bad one at all, but here comes the engagement from AVANT. They're just going to try and rush their way in. The grenade will stall them somewhat, but Hugh is like a man possessed. He runs straight into CT spawn, and that's exactly where Ricky is waiting for him. Luckily, Haz has been able to retrieve an AK, but that won't last too long.
Very retakeable here for Order. They've got a smoke for that Banana side. Falling into Barbecue.
1v3 for Blitz. Not possible when you get spammed through the smoke.
That's real ballsy, the way that they busted through those smokes against Eagles.
Solid retake, though. And still with 3 alive at the end, they're going to be very happy with this. Economy is really bursting at the seams. Looks like they're just getting as much utility as they possibly can off all the dead bodies just scattered around on the B side. In Order secure a 7th now. Just 3 in the lead over AVANT, so it's not too far gone just yet, but AVANT need to do it here and now. Plenty of money in the bank off the round loss bonus, and that bomb plant as well to buy up fully.
Round number 12. So 3 or 4 more rounds left in this half, and the reason why that's important is we talk about Order's strong economy. AVANT, they need to string some gun rounds together if they want to try to break that money. Towards the last round of the half, they'd have to win almost every round consecutively.
Ooh. Straight through APOC. Goes for the aggressive approach. Molotov just barely missed the mark, so he was able to play around behind it. Ali with the first pick of the round, and he's going to be happily falling back towards Dig. Sort of still with 3 players over towards B.
So hungry now after all that palmy talk. Jeez.
Well, you can blame Order and AVANT for that. Otherwise, we would have been eating dinner right now. Anyway.
Jungle side smoke. Looking for some bracket control here. Alistair's just trying to use that utility to delay. Usilo's still got himself a smoke. There's the wrap side smoke for jungle. Wow, that's absolutely robbed.
Straight through the flash. Alice is going to grab himself a initial pick onto Hazza after, already having found one this round. Oh, what's he done that for? He's just gone straight into the molly. Apoc certainly punished him for it, but is it going to cost order? That's the real question. Usilo's still locking down the bomb site, spamming away through the smoke, catches Sterling. Doesn't quite spot out Apoc, but he will continue to fling a few bullets in his direction from the Deagle. 2 shots left in that. Has to reload now, but does have the backup of Jara and time running out. Ustilo is getting eager for some frags. Apoc, well, he doesn't have enough time to win the round, but he was going to have a crack at it, that's for sure.
Here's the cheekiness from Alistair. He's tried to jump shoulder peek and bait out a shot. And unfortunately, he strafed a little bit too far and got caught on the corner. And he can't fall back, and he's just strafed into 2 players and died in a 5-on-3.
Yeah, unlucky. Info plays, boys. Info plays.
Oh, yeah.
Info plays, yep. All right, boys. Bracket is not clear, and I'm dead. Big information. Order able to capitalise off the back of it with Ustilo going big from default. Now, new round, new Avant. Let's see what they can do with a bit of banana control. Sterling just positioning himself in between both the mollies. Late nades come through. But Sterling, he's wrapped around the smoke here. Oh, Barrel spots him, but being unable to jump onto the barrels works out for him better.
That's one of the first times Avant's found a man advantage in a while. And they haven't found a round in 8 rounds in a row for Order. And they're just going to bust straight through the smoke.
No, they're going to make something happen, and this is their best chance. Wow. But Ricky is a bit too sharp. Through the flash again. Another frag goes the way of the orb. Not quite getting the timing to land that shot through the smoke, but here we go. There's another one for Ricky. Just as the bomb plant goes down, luckily at least for Avant, they've got that on the floor. So now the timer is working in their favor. Blitz is going to be the key for them, wrapping through A, but he needs to be quick. If he gets there too late, Avant won't be able to hold B. They're trying to delay as much as possible. All the flashes, all the util has now been used, except Blitz's, and he's just too late. Alistair watching the flank as well, and Order will get their 9th round now in a row.
All of the pieces of that strat just did not slide together for Avant. It looked like it could have been good. The late backstab from Blitz certainly could have secured the round, but everyone on site died. Order just went with a faster approach on the retake, using the flashes to get their way back in. And look, it was a big pick as well from Ricky just to fall back and at least kill the bomb planter. Didn't stop that bomb from going down, which could have completely changed the round and how it played out, but it didn't.
And if you're wondering why Alistair is just consistently checking the flank there and ready for that, it's because these 2 teams have played each other so much. They're so aware that Blitz is that apps player. Earlier, he actually did get picked by Alistair when they were running that double AWP. So they are very well aware that if anyone's going to go for a backstab, it's going to be Blitz because he is that apps lurker for Avant. Hey, G-Nade's well timed. Good damage onto Hugh. Retake utility onto banana side from Order. And Avant, again, just sort of jump that molly onto main and do a little boost.
Well, if Avant can't win the round when they've got the opening frag, things do look a little bit dire when they're let a minute slip by. They've left Order with a fairly decent chunk of util. Ricky still has a smoke over towards the B bomb site. And there's a lot of util here on A for Order. So where does Avant go from here? Perhaps not straight into that Molotov. They're going to hide behind the smoke, wait for that to fade. But time is of the essence, and it's really cutting down quite a lot on that.
Oh, legged! Blitz survives somehow. Dodges a couple of digs as well. Hugh down to 19. And as the 2-man push through the smoke, Ali wants to go to the secondary, but Hugh trades it through. And we're back to the 4-on-4. As Avant gets CT control. Now this is dangerous. Order, the reaction to retake brackets. 2-men set up a dig, and it's just going to be Gyro facing you. Still, it comes in too late, and A is lost. So another round should be in the bag for Avant. Yeah. Order, looking at the money, yeah, they can probably go for it, but they decide not to.
It was a nice setup, actually, for Order. A nice idea, but the timing, the spacing maybe wasn't quite there.
Yeah, it was a dicey round for Avant to win. It's not one of those rounds that you look at and you go, yeah, I'm really confident they're going to roll into this next round and win it.
Yeah. Well, I guess Order does actually have enough money to be doing this. They're not going to win the round, surely. There's not enough time. No way.
Say that.
There is.
Ricky is just charging in on his own. Look at where Valiance was. He was down in T-Sport, but Ricky was raring to go.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I really don't blame him.
He's actually kept that one player close enough to the
And
bomb to die as well.
also-
and they don't have the money to replace that gun that they just lost, actually.
That was fully worth it.
I do wonder why they didn't just straight up go for that retake, though. Like, they have 10k in the bank on all of their players. It was only Ricky that was going for the retake. Why was Valiant saving?
Yes,
Yes.
it's a good
yes.
point.
That
but
is a
at the
great
same
question
time,
for the post-game interview.
It's also, it does matter. Okay? They've won a lot.
It
They've
does
won
matter.
a lot of rounds.
They could have
Jordan.
won 10. If Valiance
They've
was there
won a lot of
playing
rounds, Jordan.
that retake with Ricky, I reckon they had a pretty good
I'm going to
shot.
play devil's advocate this time.
Look, you're just
9-1.
You're just ruining the one piece of quality analysis that I've had in my entire CSGO casting career.
What, asking a question?
Yeah.
Why do you do that? I don't know, Jordan. I don't know. Either way, what's more relevant is the state of the money. An ump and a Galil having to be purchased into round number 15 for AVANT after dropping that many guns to Ricky. And they've dropped another one to him.
Okay, again. Peeks in behind that Molotov at the top of Banana as it looks like it's just going to be Hazard there solo trying to work it. He's got plenty of util, but over towards the A site, Ali. It's a nasty one onto Q. Alright, Gyra. Big controller bracket, and that's a world of information. Now, with a 3-man advantage, Order again, they're just going to fall back, give up a bit of control at mid, and look to play this one together. Solid crossfires on both sites, and this round should be over, unless a miracle happens for APOC and Hazard. But Ali just edging forward at Dig. That's going to be more than enough information. Ustillo off angle there, over towards Graveyard, and it is Order with 10 on the board on the CT side, heading into T. Well, I'm worried for AVANT, but we have a break to get through, and we'll see you on the other side of it for the final half of this series. See you then.
Well, a fairly exciting start to the round, and things have slowed down. We're in the eye of the storm. Silent boost for Valiance. Love to see that, but there isn't anyone from AVANT that is actually up in the apartments anyway.
Still a lot of utility here for Order. Keen to see how they're going to utilize it to take this A bomb site.
Solid setup for AVANT though. They've gone for the gamble over towards the A site, so all 3 defenders are here. Hugh on top of Bike is unable to stop the push into sight, but he's just going to try to bait out a lot of attention. Hazard down to 42 as it's going to be APOC trying to still have some impact here. 11 HP and a Dream. That's going to be a 1-for-1 as Ali goes down as well. Now it's all up to Gyro to try and hold it. Back to Hazard, 18 HP for him. Kit over in front of the pit, and Gyra, he hasn't spotted this one. And Hazard goes down. So good timing on the cross, good timing on the peak there. Dig hits him with the wide swing, and Order take the T-pistol, send it to a 6-round lead, and look to get an even bigger advantage to kick off the second half.
That's a lot of pressure on AVANT now, you know. They've just essentially gotten kind of thrown out of the game. Oh, trouble in paradise.
This is a dead round, by the way, for anyone, again, that was wondering. Been having a few of them so far in this series. So, back into podcast mode. Well, we did just see 100 Thieves on the screen. So, what did you guys think of 100 Thieves in the last season of Pro League? They
really turned it around,
did pretty well, didn't they? I mean, we were going into that Cloud9 game at the end of the season thinking, look, there's a chance, actually, and I think the majority of us sort of even predicted maybe that Cloud9 would win that series.
Hi Dex. I mean, text guy. Sorry for doxing you. But yes, I do remember that. That was a lovely time. That was at MEO, not last year, but the year before. 2018, that would have been. Yeah, great kebabs. Well, I think you got a kebab. I got a HSP, and I was pretty happy.
All right, well, if you guys want to have a bit of a chat backwards and forwards, that gives me and Pilsky some time to eat dinner. So,
beautiful. Well, let's see if I get a response. Let's see if get Dex back on the text line. Speaking of, we should open up a text line. We should just get a mobile with a number. and just get people. I know we have Twitch chat,
Oh,
but
no.
we could get direct messages.
Text lines are old news. All you need to do is use a hashtag
Oh, all
on
right.
Twitter. So what is the hashtag that we want people to use?
Elfish Mum.
No.
Oh, no?
What about
I'm sure it would be unique.
hashtag B-Stream Bandits?
Ah, yes.
B-Stream Bandits
B-Stream
or
Bandits, B-Stream Boys.
hashtag Aussie Casters? That one could be abused by anyone, though.
So, hashtag B-Stream.
Hashtag B-Stream Bandits.
All right, beautiful. By the way, your biceps are the same thickness of my leg.
A decent mall, so it was like a bit on the more expensive
I once
side.
bought a pair of boardies from Malaysia for 8 ringgit, which is like between 2 and 3 Australian dollars. They're pretty good. Anyways, see what Auto can do. They've won the pistol, and this is now their anti-force. APOC with the 5-7 just goes charging down mid and will overwhelm Alistair, but he's traded places with the T's, and that does give Auto control of the bomb site. It is at the cost of 2 of their players, though. APOC's kind of on a rampage at the moment, and these 3 remaining Auto players will have to defend against 5 CTs on the retake.
No kid, though. See if they can get back into the site. Progression smoke starting to come out. Flashes over the top.
Has a 5-7 in hand, leads the charge, won't be able to do a whole lot, but there is some damage being done to the Auto players. Unfortunately, not enough until Blitz chimes in with a headshot from the Deagle. Is there another one? That's the real question, because APOC's not interested, so it really is just down to Blitz to try and deny Auto from getting off of the bomb site, which he hasn't quite been able to do quickly enough. Valiant should survive in pit. And that's Auto up to 12.
Couldn't complete that retake. Up 5 on 3. Maybe an opportunity missed there for AVANT. Order now go up 12-5. They go into potentially another anti-eco. They're going to be up 13-5. Another very one-sided Inferno game from them. Can't seem to put a foot wrong. See how many guns they drop, because money's looking a little fragile on that T side, I do have to say. Would be good if they could keep a lot of guns up here.
So AVANT giving up a bit of control there at bracket. Trying to prioritize banana control boost over the half wall. Is Order fake retaking banana, forces them back. But still edging forward at bracket. You still makes a bit of noise here. As APOC, he is not going to be scared of anything, just spams away back through the archer smoke. Can't show some presence at the top of banana. Going for a quick pre-fire. Oh, and that's an opening for Ricky. Sterling caught napping. And the A side's completely open for the moment, but AVANT do rotate. No, commit to the B side. Okay. So go for the full gamble.
Well, it might work out. That's where the bomb is for now, but Order are leaving that one in mid and might have just cottoned on to the trick that AVANT is going to try and throw at them. See if Gyra falls for his own tricks, and certainly won't. Hugh not getting away with a position behind sandbags, though, to be fair, didn't have anyone to bait for. Either way, Order's going to get themselves into the A-bomb site. No problems at all. And AVANT, well, they can save another couple of guns, but it's just not looking like it's going to save their map here on Inferno, because they'll be down 13-5, and that is a pretty astronomical comeback to try and make happen.
Yeah, it's particularly on the CT side where your money's so fragile. Good news for AVANT is that like having a Galil and a UMP on other maps is like, this is useless. On this map, could actually be a bit more useful to you, some of these close range angles, but seems like AVANT not interested in holding on to the UMP at least. Galil has us still poking around for some exits, but chooses to start to fall off that angle. Order now up 13-5. Very dominant position. They survived with 3 players alive. Their money is good, and even if they were to start losing rounds, they have more than enough room in this half to start to recover with that loss bonus should they lose a round or 2. And on that T side, your guns are already cheap. You get that loss bonus up to full as the other team starts to come for a comeback. All it takes is that one bomb plant, and you're stringing back-to-back-to-back-to-back buy rounds together. So, on many maps, current state of the CS economy, CT side comebacks of more than, I would say, 5-6 rounds. Quite hard to do, actually.
Well, we'll see what AVANT is going to be able to manage. Or maybe there won't be a comeback at all. Double AWP. So they've put all of their eggs into that basket. A lot of money invested into this round for the CT side. No big peaks. No banana control at the moment for AVANT. They do have control of brackets, though. That is what AVANT is going to try and hold on to, and that's what Order's going to have to fight for as they go jumping out just off the back of a single flash. Ooh. It's been good so far. Molly's flying in.
Oh, and Blitz is spotted. It wasn't actually going to spread to him, so he wasn't forced out, but still, Justillo deals with him nicely, and that's going to be the first pick going the way of Order. APOC tries to go for the aggressive play, but the flash from Ali a little bit too strong. Sterling, full control of Arch at least, but the site, it's in the hands of Order. The bomb has already crossed. This is going to be a rough round for AVANT, and look, I don't know if they even want to be going for it at this point.
Yeah, I think a save is probably a bit of a better option.
Yes, hold on to that double AWP. You've still got Hazard with a fair bit of money in the bank because he had a Galil in the other round. So they could still put together a good buy, but AVANT's out of time here, lads. You know, they're down 5-14. They need to start putting some rounds on the board, but it seems like Order are having no problems just waltzing around the map and finding picks any which way they want.
Well, 2 rounds away now for Order, and things are starting to slip a bit for AVANT. I mean, I think they've already slipped, you know. We're quite far down the rabbit hole now, aren't we? It's going to take a lot of climbing for AVANT to get back out of it. They do have a decent buy, as you've mentioned, Pilski. Saving those double orbs has helped them out quite substantially in this round. But this is their last chance. If they lose the round here, they got 3.4k loss bonus there. I mean, they'll be able to scrounge together a buy next round. It's not going to be a great one, that's for sure. It's definitely going to be lacking on util, which is not fun on Inferno.
You could see as well, they were trying to hold the util in the previous round, but they just didn't even get a chance to use the util they were holding on to. So it was a very rough situation.
Sometimes you just lose those picks, like, you know, dominoes. You don't have time to use that util you've been holding, leverage it to a round win. Some of that's positioning, some of that's, you know, being aware of what your opponents want to be doing to catch you off guard. Off angle here for Sterling. Looking for anyone coming up middle or towards church side. Doesn't catch anyone though. Now banana control being taken by Order as you do see APOC falling off the line. Will be joined by Hazard now, but none of them have any smokes left over. 50 seconds on the clock. Gonna have to rely on these Molotov and counter flashes. Smoke's ready here for Order towards Coffins and CT side. There's the Molotov actually to half wall, not in the choke point.
Uh-oh. And it looks like Hazard's turned it into a 2 for 2, and that's going to be the B site lost for now. Blitz just staying silent in CT. Not going to deny that bomb plan.
I do like the util that AVANT has got for this retake, though. 2 grenades and incendiary as well. Sterling and APOC just double nade the back of site. They might get something done with that. Unfortunately, they're not really in positions to do that. And even if they were, Order is kind of fragging out at the moment. So Sterling has no option but to try and save. And that is going to be 15. That is going to be match series point for Order. And they might just book themselves a ticket into the grand final against Renegades.
That is going to be 10 match points as well, by the way. That Order have. That is so many. So even if AVANT find themselves a miracle to get back into the game, they're going to have to do it over and over and over and over again, because one dropped round means it's going to be them sent off the cliff and out of Pro League.
Yeah, if this is not it, you know, you're looking at the money that AVANT has access to. Still don't have access to that full utility. Sterling has to go down to 5-7. They don't have everything that they would be wanting to fight for their lives with the tournament life point. Oh, orb for Sterling wasn't just a 5-7.
He saved.
Yeah, it was on the ground. Well, still, I mean, you're looking at 1 minute 40 on the clock. They don't have a whole lot of utility. There's some good picks for AVANT. I will give them that. And Order now starting to reposition towards second mid. See if they can slip out carpets on the timing. Seems like Apoc's ready, though.
2-2 split. Apoc in a solid position to deal with this one. Let's see if he's cleared. Util not going to come out. It's actually the full dry peek. Apoc reveals his position. Ustilo is able to trade that. Sterling still solo towards Diggity as the rest of the boys start to group up and send their way out. Sterling on a nice line, spots the barrel, but knows one player could at least be in pit. Jara throws some more Util. It's just a matter of when. Sterling has bought so much time now. Molly to dig. They're aware of his position. They would have heard that scope, so they're just trying to dance away from it. Smoke onto the Molly, but the cross already comes through. Has us spotted in the smoke, but not dealt with. Ustilo still holding dig from pit. But the crab walk coming up. Look at this. Just edging forward. Ustilo deals with the first Hue in the open. Sterling with the cover. Jira tries to get on the line. Finds the head. This is it. Sterling 1-on-2. He's won so many of them tonight. But not this time. 16-5 is the final scoreline. And order continue on forward. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. And we will be back very shortly to break all of this down for you